Ooh, welcome to Ole Walls House. It's me. It's your man. It's your main man. It's Ole Walls. And I'm back with you. Episode 222 coming your way. Fun show here today. Talking a little golf. Got some Masters preview. We got a playoff push going on. We got baseball back up and running. Before we get into any of that today, just want to start off by saying thank you to everybody. Appreciate your support, all your watches, your listens. As always, the best way to help the pod is if you could, please rate, review, comment, subscribe, and share. Let everybody know Ole Walls House is the place to be. If you're looking for some Ole Walls House merch, you can find that in the link down there in the show notes. You can also find merch for the Full Range Pod. And you should check out the Full Range Pod and my guy MJ. Again, you can find that at the Full Range Pod on Spotify and Apple Pods and on the Ole Walls House YouTube channel. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. Time for a little golf. JJ Spaun is your winner at the Valero Texas Open. JJ Spaun goes 69, 69, 66, 67. On Sunday, in a weird day, they only played, I think the leaders got like between 5 to 9 holes done on Saturday before some weather rolled in. Nasty kind of weather on Sunday. I mean, JJ Spaun was wearing a beanie hat. The 18th hole, I think that I saw was, playing. Let me pull up the stats on 18 here. 18 was a 609-yard par 5. It was playing something like 670 with the wind coming in. Made it kind of a nasty hole to finish on. The 17th was a drivable par 4 right in front of it, which saw JJ Spaun make an eagle, Robert McIntyre make an eagle, and just kind of a weird day. Just a weird day. They were off in the threesomes from Saturday to get stuff finished Sunday morning, and they didn't repair. Just go back out in that. And you get Roy, is it Brandon? Kevin Roy shoots 7 under for the tournament, 74-72 for his third and fourth round scores. And he's playing in one of the final groups, and JJ Spaun wins it at 17. So just a weird day overall in the last tournament before the Masters. But JJ Spaun gets it done. Like I said, 66-67 on the weekend, makes that eagle. Right on 17, right before he finishes. Just one bogey on the day, just a bogey on the 15th that was sandwiched in between a couple of birdies on 14 and 16. Bogey on the 15th. If I said something different, I didn't mean that. But and not a guy who's really been knocking the door down a lot this year. I mean, if you look at JJ Spaun this year, has missed the cut 4 times in his 8 tournaments. His best finish thus far in the year was a T24 at the Players. The only other 2 made cuts he made before Valero this week was a T40 out in Hawaii at the Sony Open and a T45 at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Missed the cut at the Farmers, missed the cut at Genesis, missed the cut at Arnold Palmer, and then missed the cut just last week at Valspar. And, Genesis and Arnold Palmer, those are small cuts too. So, I mean, really wasn't playing his best golf. Like I said, best finish T24 at the Players, where he was actually a little more in that. Sunday 73 kind of really backed him out of that. He actually had a pretty nice week going into that. But he holds off a cast of characters that were kind of giving him a run. And, for one of these off weeks, not a bad little group. I mean, Robert McIntyre, Big Shot Bob, some people call him, played pretty well in this 4th round. Got off to, just kind of plodding along with pars, but then made a couple birdies, had a couple bogeys. Eagles 17 to get himself to 1 back, and then kind of struggles coming down the stretch. Really yanks one with a 3-wood, pulled it way right. Again, he's a lefty, so pull to the right. Ends up okay, just can't give himself a good enough look to give it a go, really, on the green. But, I mean, you also had a guy like Ludwig up there. Ludwig Elberge. However you call it. We're just going to call him Ludwig. But more of the same with Ludwig. I mean, I think it's always weird when the winner of the tournament isn't really the big talking point. I mean, obviously, I kind of like JJ Spaun, and he backs up a major win by winning a tournament the next year. And Ludwig was, you'll see finish birdies, 3 of the last 5, but it's like, right in the middle of the round again, we have bogeys on 6, 8, and 12 that kind of knocks him back out of it. He ends up finishing 2 back, and again, he birdies 3 of the last 5 to do it. But it's concerning again. I mean, gets himself kind of up into contention again and doesn't get the finish. And there's this thing with golf that you can only be labeled a choker when you get yourself into those positions by playing some really good golf. Like we're only talking about Ludwig choking at the Players because he was in the lead. Like it's a really interesting thing. Like you get, you talk about a guy you don't see much and get called a choker, but just go down this leaderboard. I mean, here you go. Siwoo Kim, good player. We don't call him a choker a lot because he's not really always in contention like that. I mean, this week, he has himself a nice week. 70, 70, 70, 67 in his final round. So he shoots up the leaderboard, gets himself a T10, but he's never really in contention. He's actually playing opposite of the leaders. He tees off the back 9 first and, rips off a 4-under on that front 9, adds a couple more birdies out back, does have 1 bogey at the end of the day. But, when you get your closing ability questioned, it means you've done something in the first place to get yourself into that position. So it's a weird thing with Ludwig that, he's getting a lot of run right now because he's not closing these tournaments, but he's continually putting himself in a position to win where we can then say he isn't closing them. So I don't know that I want to say there's a problem. It's maybe a little bit of something you're looking at and you're like, I would love to see something a little better, but we're not in those scenarios. But again, he keeps putting himself in those scenarios. So it's kind of a double-edged sword here thing. So you never really know what to think exactly. But alas, it is Masters week. The Masters is here. We get a little teaser Wednesday. We get the par 3 contest. I did see, or hear rather, I was listening to No Laying Up Pod, and they were kind of like, I'm kind of over the par 3 contest. I love the par 3 contest. Do I think it's anything crazy? No. But like Wednesday afternoon, you're fiending for the tournament, and it's on. You get to see some dudes hit shots. You get to see Augusta. I mean, granted, it's only the par 3. You're not seeing any of the real course, but like it gives you the vibes, man. It gives you the vibes. I love it. The Masters is by far my favorite tournament of the year. I know the big knock is coverage. You've got the Masters app. They've expanded coverage a little bit. But like my thing is always like you're gonna see Saturday, Sunday, you see the leaders play their entire rounds. The entirety of the round. Like that's what matters. It's like I'm working most of Thursday and Friday anyway. So, would I love to have more availability? Absolutely. Do I think it's the end of the world with it? Absolutely not. And this Masters, I think, it has the setup to be very great because I don't think we've got a guy that we see as like the odds-on favorite. I mean, obviously the odds-on favorite is Scottie Scheffler at plus 500, but this hasn't been like the greatest Scottie Scheffler year. And this is crazy because I'm about to tell you what he's done this year. And it's still going to be pretty silly. I haven't looked at this. I'm doing it live. But like, we're talking about Scottie Scheffler like he's having a bad year. His results this year are first, T3, T4, T12, T24, T22. Granted, the T24, the T22 are our most recent memories of him. The win was all the way back in January at the American Express, which he then again followed up with T3, T4 at Phoenix and Pebble, which he started terribly at Phoenix, Pebble, and Genesis, where he damn near wins those ones too. Baby watch is over. He said that they had the baby. The baby is on site, 9 years old, and Mrs. Scheffler has brought the baby to Augusta. So maybe, I don't know if that does something to your sleep schedule, but there's no baby watch. We're not worried about Scottie leaving the tournament to go be there for the birth of his child. So we've got that out of the way. Again, I know this hasn't been like Scottie Scheffler's peak in the last, 2 months here. But It's not bad. I think he's still the favorite for a reason. Hot take here. Scotty Scheffler, primed to be one of the top picks at the Masters. I know, really going out on a ledge there, but I mean, until he's proven otherwise at Augusta, I'm gonna struggle to not pick him. I mean, his record at Augusta really speaks for itself. 2 wins. I'm pulling up his record there. All right, so he first plays. So I mean, here's his Augusta record: T19 in the Fall Masters, T18 first, T10 first, fourth. Until proven otherwise, Scotty Scheffler is the odds-on favorite for this tournament. You're just not going to get me to say anything different. Like, he's the guy that I'm going with, and I might get burned by it, but he's the dude. He's he's plus 500. He's 450 better than the next best guy in John Rahm and Bryson DeChambeau at plus 950 and plus 1,000. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, Jim Nantz caught some shit for this about, I haven't seen Bryson hit one shot. I've probably seen a couple of Bryson shots on like Twitter and stuff, but I have not sat down and watched live. I don't necessarily know how those guys are playing, but those guys are gamers. John Rahm's got a good record here. Bryson finds a way to make it work here too. You would think with the chipping and the greens and maybe some of the putting stuff, but he putted his balls off. Can he get his irons to kind of, that was his downfall last year, was that he was kind of just spraying the irons everywhere. If he reins that in, he's 100% a threat. Rory's next up. I mean, hardly bet against Rory. Rory wins this thing, gets the monkey off his back. I'm not a Rory fan, but like, this guy is in the hunt at Augusta a lot. This is a place that should fit him well and has fit him well. And now that he's won, does it open the floodgates? You kind of wondered if that was going to open the rest of the major floodgates last year, and he might steal another one there. Maybe it's, it takes a year to let that all happen, and he's back in it. Ludwig's up there. We've talked about Ludwig. All the game in the world. Keeps putting himself in position. His first major ever here, he was right there. Had a little bit of a whoopsie, but he just keeps putting himself in position. Like, you keep putting yourself there to knock down the door, you're going to knock down the door. You got guys like Xander Schauffele, who I think is flying under the radar. He's having a better year. 2-time major winner. Has played well here in the past, which is always the thing that matters here. Is the ability to, I mean, the joke, that's not necessarily a joke, but, one of the ongoing gags, if you will, is that you don't so much read putts at Augusta as you do remember them. He's a possibility. I don't think Fitz is going to work here, but I could be proven wrong. Cam Young, maybe. Tommy Fleetwood, still playing decent golf. Colin Morikawa, there was a lot more buzz about him, it felt like 3-4 weeks ago, but playing some of his best golf in a long time. Justin Rose seems to just show up at this. Bob McIntyre. This place works for lefties. A lot of the shots work for lefties. 12 being one of the key shots where it's better for a lefty. 12, when they put that pin middle right over that bunker, your miss as a lefty, if you peel it off to the right, is it's a shorter shot. You hit your shot shorter. Whereas if you're a righty, if you miss one out to the right, it comes shorter. That's going up the hill, Okay, so, the green sits on an angle there. When you're a lefty and you peel one right to left, so you miss it left, it falls back to the safe part of the green. When you're a righty, it peels back and it can fall in the Race Creek, the Jordan Spieth shot, whoever else over the years. When you're that lefty and you kind of pull one, it gets you that little extra distance on it. So it works there for him. In that the lefty token, you got to think about Akshay Bhatia. Akshay Bhatia not playing bad this year, but Pat Reed, don't count Patrick Reed out. Nobody's favorite guy in the world, I don't think. But the guy is a gamer. He likes Augusta. He's won here. He's competed here. You never know. Jordan Spieth feels like this guy should have won 3 of these already. He's got 1. How's his game? Nobody knows. Brooks Koepka's way down the list. Brooks Koepka's plus 4,500. He's behind the likes of some guys like Colin Morikawa, Tommy Fleetwood, Robert McIntyre, Patrick Reed, Minwoo Lee, Chris Goddard are all ahead of him on the odds sheet. If you get Koepka in contention, and those are the guys he's got to beat to do it, I like Koepka there a lot. Koepka's a gamer. He's big game James of this era's golf. Like, he shows up when the moments are biggest in majors, and he's there. And he seems healthy. He seems like the game's all right. I don't know that he played this week. There was this weird combo about people not playing 2 weeks before the Masters have never won. I mean, you talk about all the guys I've named so far. Scotty, Rahm, Bryson, Rory, Xander, Cam Young, Reed. I don't know what Reed's schedule has been. I don't know when Koepka last played, but like your biggest, best guys haven't played in the 2 weeks right before. So it'll be very, very interesting. I mean, you still got guys like Adam Scott further down the list, Tyrrell Hatton, who could do something here. I mean, I'm really excited. It's my favorite golf week of the year. It feels like the field is as wide open as it's been in the last few years. But I'm going to stand here. I'm going to give you a prediction. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say it. Scotty Scheffler wins the Masters. It's an even year. Scotty Scheffler likes to win Masters in even years, 22 and 24. Here we go. Scotty Scheffler, your 2026 Masters champion. How about a little hockey talk as the Philadelphia Flyers on Sunday took care of business in overtime against the Boston Bruins. Porter Martone, the guy they just brought up from Michigan State, gets the clincher in overtime. Gets down in the crease, I believe you hockey folk call it. First one gets rejected, and he will not be denied. Gets the second one, and Flyers win that game Sunday and take over third place in the division, putting them in the playoffs if the season were to end today. They're in a playoff position. Now, the season does not end today, but they're in position. Just keep winning. There's 5 games left. The Devils on Tuesday, the Red Wings on Thursday, the Jets on Saturday, back to the Hurricanes on Monday, or host the Hurricanes, back home for the Hurricanes on Monday, and finish with the Canadiens on Tuesday. Every game this week is on the road after they were on, kind of bouncing back and forth last week. But what a wild ride. I mean, going into the week, they were in a nice position, if you remember from last week, where they could just, just get some wins, man, and they just didn't do it. They lose to the Caps on Tuesday, just trading goals back and forth. Go down 2-0, tie it up 2-2, go down 4-2. I mean, just all sorts of craziness in that one. Lose to the Red Wings on Thursday. Red Wings get out in front with the first goal, and away they go. But they bounce back. They bounce back on Friday. They get a big win over the Islanders, a team ahead of them. That was pretty much the season was on the line in that one. And then Saturday, everything they needed to happen happened. Every team they needed to lose on Saturday evening lost on Saturday evening. The Senators lost. The Blue Jackets lost. The Islanders lost. Like, it was almost it couldn't have gone any better. And then they back it up on Sunday. They get to win in overtime. The overtime kids, the cardiac kids, maybe, I don't know. Just a real gritty performance out of the Flyers. And here we go. I mean, they're sitting in a playoff position right now. They have 5 games left. They have 90 points. The teams chasing them, the New York Islanders in the division. Let me pull over the division, not the broken down one here. In the division. So the Blue Jackets and the Islanders are chasing them. The Islanders only have 4 games remaining. They have 1 less point. They have 89 points. Flyers 5 games, 90 points. Now, this could be a good thing, could be a bad thing with more or less games left, but more chance to make up any sort of point differential. They're 2 points out ahead of the Columbus Blue Jackets, who have 88 points, same amount of games remaining, 5. They are 3 points out ahead of the Washington Capitals with 87 points and only 4 games remaining. So really in the driver's seat against the Capitals. Blue Jackets, Islanders, right there. Anything goes. There is still the wild card available. They have the same number of points as the Ottawa Senators. They would be losing that tiebreaker to the Senators, I believe. The Flyers only have 24 regulation wins. They've picked up, of their 39 wins, they've picked up 15 15 of them in overtime or shootout. So I think a lot of the tiebreak comes back to regulation wins and then head-to-head matchups. They were saying on the broadcast on Sunday, they don't have pretty much any of them. So they have to make it outright. It can't be a tie. They're going to need more points. And again, those teams, also in consideration for the wild card: Islanders, Blue Jackets, Capitals, and then the only other team not in their division is the Red Wings. Same 5 games remaining, 88 points. So the Flyers are 2 games ahead of them. They have the Red Wings on Thursday. Win that game, big deal, yada, yada, yada. A funny thing to consider here is that the New Jersey Devils are 40, 34, and 3. So they're 40 and 37. They have 83 points. The Flyers are 39, 26, and 12. Did I say 30? They have 83 points. 40 and 30. Devils, 40 and 37, 83 points. Flyers, 39, 28, and 12. 39 and 28. Same amount of games. 39 and 38. They have 7 more points because of those overtime losses. 12 overtime losses. They get the game to OT a lot. 27 times the Flyers have gone to overtime this year. 27. Compared to the Devils, only 15 times. 12 and 3. 12 and 3 for the Devils in overtime. Hot dang. Hot dang. But man, it's alive. The arena was buzzing on Sunday. There's, Porter Matone coming in, just giving a little extra giddy up. I mean, come on, let's go. I would love to be invested in a playoff hockey series. Just would absolutely love it. I believe the way it shakes out, it's going to be, if the Flyers make it as that last team in the division, it's going to be the Penguins. I don't always understand how this. So Division 1 and Wild Card 1. So the best in each division play the wild card team. So Tampa Bay Lightning get Boston. So Tampa Bay has 102 points, and Carolina. Okay, yeah. So the best division winner gets the worst wild card. And then the next best division winner gets the next wild card team. And then they play in division playoff series in the first round, which is interesting to me, right? And that's the same way over in the West. Anaheim and Vegas. So let's go to the West. Anaheim and Vegas. Yeah, the Anaheim and Vegas are in the same division. Let me just double check that. I mean, just figuring things out here. Yeah. Ooh, Pacific Division. Flyers would be leading that division. Leading it. They wouldn't be sniffing it, though, for the the Flyers would be making the playoffs out West. Any way you look at it. Any way you look at it, the Flyers would be making the playoffs out West. They'd be either the wild card or 81 points is making it out West. Flyers are at 90, just barely sneaking in right now. Should have been in the West. Okay, looking forward to it. Like I said, Flyers this week, Devils tomorrow, Red Wings Thursday, tomorrow being Tuesday when this pod drops. Red Wings Thursday, and then Jets Saturday. Let's swing over to some baseball. The Cleveland Guardians complete a series win over the Chicago Cubs. They'd also just picked up a series win over the LA Dodgers. So 3 series into the year, the Guardians have won 2 and tied the first one. So I mean, that's the recipe for successful baseball. You get wins in series. Win your series, win your series. Win your series, win your series. You win more series than you don't. Mix in a sweep every once in a while. Don't get swept, and away we go. And I mean, obviously the light of our lives as Guardians fans so far this year has been Chase DeLauter. Played in 9 of the 10 games. He's batting .313. He has 5 home runs. He has 9 RBIs. Like, he's everything you hoped this guy was. And if he can just stay healthy, a little bit of a scary moment when he fouled the ball off his leg, but he's all right. We're still out there. And, kind of one of the things about this little early very early season so far. And it's 10. We're 10 games in. They're 6-4. We have 150 more games. 150 of them. But through 10 games, you're getting a whole lot of nothing out of Jose, Stephen Kwan, and Kyle Manzardo. Those guys are batting 154, 216, and 0.67. One home run from Jose. I mean, total RBIs out of that group. I mean, you're not going to get a ton of RBIs out of Kwan just because he bats first, but I mean, not as many. I mean, Chase DeLauder has more RBIs than the rest of them. So, I mean, that's a really a nice little silver lining to take away from the guards so far this year. And then Parker Messick. We're talking a lot about Chase DeLauder and his rookie campaign. Parker Messick has pitched 2 games so far, 11 innings, has given up 1 earned run. One of them. 1 single earned run, 11 strikeouts. Gotta like it. You also gotta like what you've seen so far out of Gavin Williams. 12 innings thus far, just 3 earned runs. Has struck out 17. Has a batting average against him of 111. So, some nice signs early so far for Cleveland, getting some nice production in areas that you weren't necessarily expecting. So now, hey, is Chase DeLauder going to remain on our favorite thing in baseball, an 80-game home run pace? No, but any bonus that you could get for this team in some hitting production would be awesome. Gabriel Arias has hit a couple home runs. He's not batting great. I mean, David Fry has played in half the games. No home runs, no RBIs, but he's hitting 333. Like, you got to take what you can get where you can get it when you can get it. So, team average, is it great so far for Cleveland hitting the ball? No. I mean, home runs, where are they at? Down near the middle of the pack. Team average, where are they at? Probably lower half, middle of the pack again. But it's just going to be, how do you scrape it together? 28th in team average, so not ideal. Team OPS is probably on the low side too. Yeah, in the bottom, in 25th, give or take. 25th. So just got to scrape and claw together as many wins as you can and find ways to do it and manufacture runs and guards ball. All right, let's move on. Time for some passing thoughts. So you're looking at a freshly minted 35-year-old man right here. Yeah, 35. Not much for birthdays as an adult. Don't do much. We went out and got beer and chicky wings and went over to some of my friends' house and watched the basketball games. And I did indulge in a few too many adult friendly drinks. Did wake up the next morning and go, woo! Didn't need all that. I was fine. I shook it off and I was good. But it was we went out for lunch to get chicken wings and stopped at a brewery and I was good by 9-10 o'clock the next day. But there's a little bit of I don't bounce back like I used to. But 2 things. First off, now that I'm 35, I'm in a new I forget even how I even thought of this. I don't think I took a survey, but I saw something. I'm in the next age bracket now. It's 18 to 24, 25 to 34. Now I'm 35 to 44. I'm lumped in with 44-year-olds. 35 to 44. That's a big deal. Even when you hear 25 to 34, 34, you're not that old. 35, you're not that old. I mean, before 40, what? Now you're 44? They're almost 50. I joke. I mean, I think I've said it on here. I've got the mind of a 14-year-old still in my head. I do things. I'm like, I can still do that. Whatever. But the father time catches up with us all. We got a long way to go before it's bad. But now it's just in your head. It's 35 to 44. That's the age range. That's the demographic I'm in. 35 to 44. Hoy. I also saw something. People are talking about generations and stuff, and you young dumb millennial. I'm there's not a millennial that's under 30 anymore, first of all. So we're not that young and dumb. And then they were talking about like, what's it, Gen Z Zoomers. Like a lot of them are in college and beyond. I mean, I think the cutoff is like 95. Like, shit, some of them are 30. I'm a man. I'm 40. But the one great thing that comes from a birthday is birthday cake. And my favorite kind of birthday cake, I think hands down the best kind of birthday cake, ice cream cake. I will die on this hill. Ice cream cake is far, 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 far and away the best kind of cake there is. You cannot talk me off that stance. It is the best. I'm looking forward to having some leftover ice cream cake tonight after my dinner to, continue my celebration of being up into a new demographic and being an old man, to go with all my gray hair over here and my beard and wherever else it all is. But ice cream cake's the best. And we did a little Easter dinner with my family. My sister-in-law actually said to me, she's like, oh, it's not even like that heavy. Like you can eat like a regular piece of cake. If it's like a dense piece of cake, like it can be kind of rich and kind of heavy. And she's like, oh, this is actually kind of nice. Like it's not even like super heavy after you've had a big meal. Nice ham. The sister-in-law made a beautiful ham. It was delicious. Some rolls. It was a wonderful Easter dinner. Wonderful. Just delicious. And ice cream cake. Best part of being a 35-year-old man now. So I've still got a couple slices of ice cream cake left up in the freezer. One of the many freezers in my house. I just realized I have 3 freezers in my house now. Garage freezer in the basement, the chest freezer, and then, our standard freezer. At least for nice amounts of freezer space. It's really helpful. I'll tell you what, having multiple fridges, we even have another fridge. We have 3 fridges, 3 freezers. How about that? Little mini fridge down at behind the bar in the basement. Just really, really killing this life when you got 3 fridges and 3 freezers. I mean, that's just. I mean, you've moved to the 35 to 44-year-old demographic level when you have multiple fridges and freezers in your house. And I mean, when you start getting to 3, you're playing a game not many other people are familiar with. I mean, you go 3 and 3. I mean, that's not even just like a 3 and 2 or a 2 and 2. Maybe you have just a fridge out in the garage and just a chest freezer. We've gone 3 and 3. I mean, there's fridges and freezers. You go anywhere in my house, you go to the kitchen, fridge and freezer. You go to the basement, there's a fridge one way and a freezer the other. You get out to the garage, there's a fridge and freezer out there too. We've got them stockpiled, fridges and freezers all over, and they're all functional, which is more than can be said for the shitter on Artemis 2, or whatever they call the space. Is it Orion is a spacecraft? It's Artemis 2, launched to return humans to the moon. Maybe go for the first time, depending on where you stand. That was cool, though. A lot of funny, stuff on Twitter, X, Facebook, wherever you look. Both the people assuring to the fact that this is a real thing. Others saying, nope, this is all bullshit. The thing one of my favorites. I'm too stupid to know the difference, but I mean, you read things. And, a lot of it was that the launch of the Orion, or what I'm just going to call it Artemis, the launch of Artemis 2 was that it started angling. It's like, oh, you can't be angling if you're going to be going to space. If it angles, it comes back down. And then, the people who claim they know things are like, no, if it's angling, it's climbing. You got to climb slowly and kind of work your way around to get yourself out. I don't know. But these projects lay us the plans to get humans, back. We're just going to say back. Who knows if it's actually true, but we're just going to say back to the moon for the first time since the 70s. They are on Monday evening here. I think they're in the blackout period now, or if not, they're close to it. They're orbiting around the dark side of the moon, going further into space than any crew has ever gone, doing some observations of the moon, looking at the dark side of the moon on the observations. And then we'll return home in about another 5 days. And it's, for a 2028 eventual moon landing, I think there's, something that gets checked. But yeah, their shitter's not working. It froze shut or something at one point. At one point, they were They were turning the spacecraft towards the sun to try and thaw it out. They were essentially sunning the asshole of the spacecraft. You know, their asshole was a little frozen over, so they said, let's just turn it at the sun. You ever seen that stuff on Instagram? There's at least one guy that every once in a while will pop into my feed who really talks about sunning his asshole. He just lays down there bare ass, puts his legs up over his head and points his pucker hole right to the sun. Haven't say I've gotten in on that trend, but I have seen it, and that is apparently exactly what they were trying to do with that spacecraft. I don't believe it worked last time I checked, but all in all seriousness, really cool to see that happen, like to be around for it. Obviously, none of this has happened since the 70s. The last memories for people my age and then people older are some spaceships exploding on national TV and being kind of traumatic. And so hopefully this all goes well, goes off without a hitch. And, we go to the moon. It'd be cool to see if we went to the moon again here in a couple of years that we actually did before. I have two things, two competing thoughts in my head. One, our government lies to us about literally everything. Why wouldn't they lie about the moon? Two, that is a lot of people. There were a lot of people involved in those projects to get them all to be lying or to pigeonhole it enough that they could just have enough people involved. I mean, just the people on the spaceships, it's 30 people that went up there. Just to get those 30 people to go along with it. And if those 30 people knew, there had to be at least another 30 people that knew, and changes in administrations and who was at NASA. And one person can keep a secret, two people can't. That's kind of the old thing. So there's that. And if we actually didn't go, why didn't the Russians, the Soviet Union, our arch rivals in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 50s and all that stuff, why didn't they just say we didn't go? Why wouldn't they be like, no, they fucking didn't, no chance, 100% didn't happen? I don't know. So those are kind of my competing thoughts in my head. If either one, if we didn't go, I wouldn't be overly surprised. If we did go, I wouldn't be overly surprised. That's kind of where I fall. And I just don't know one way or the other. I don't have any true belief one way or the other. So, yeah. Oh, I forgot to say this earlier in the podcast. I actually don't even know where I would have said it. I didn't talk about the NCAA at all. Let's just do that quick. Completely forgot about that. Final Fours this weekend. Neither game overly entertaining. The UConn game was better. I thought the Michigan-Arizona game was going to be, a lot of fun. But UConn-Illinois, it was close-ish. UConn leads by 8 and just kind of continues to hold on, and that's what it is. And then Michigan just kind of beats the brakes off of Arizona. I mean, Michigan's on a run. They've won every game by double digits in the NCAA tournament. You go back, they played Howard, they won by 21. They played St. Louis, they won by 23. They play Alabama, they win by 13. They played Tennessee, they win by 33. They beat Arizona by 18. This is a team that is just beating the brakes off of whoever they play. Dan Hurley, I think, is probably the best coach in college basketball. Don't really like him. I still think he's the best coach in college basketball. Dusty May is a fine coach himself, and I just think Dusty May's Michigan team is a better team. I would have Michigan winning this game here tonight. I'm probably not going to make it till the end. I'm definitely not delaying the pod for it. I think Michigan takes it home. What's the number in this game for the pod here? 6.5. Give me Michigan. We're taking Michigan. We split the Final Four, so add one more to whatever the records were here. I can pull that up and tell you quick. Not a bad performance from the boys for the year in the NCAA tournament. We were 34-29-1 coming out of the Elite Eight, so 35-30-1 with one last game. Michigan will be your champ. Michigan will cover 6.5, so we'll be looking to go 36-30-1. Worst case, 35-31-1. All in all, a good showing, I would have to say. So, proud of the effort from Mr. Slanovic and Mr. Place. We put together a strategy that shouldn't have lost money, right? For 35, just do this. Yeah, you would have won a little bit money if you were on every game with us. Would have stayed out ahead of the VIG, so that's a good one. And then the final thing, North Carolina finds their coach, Mike Malone, formerly of the Denver Nuggets. I had to do a little research. I didn't know him off the top of my head. I did then remember, as I was looking into him, that he was kind of fired in a weird way, like the year after they won the title in Denver, towards the end of the season, like kind of a weird exit. So Mike Malone, not really any college basketball experience. Not really. He was there for like 8-9 years back in the 90s into the very, very early 2000s. But since then, it's been in the NBA, has been an analyst this past year. Interesting. They were definitely not waiting around any further for Billy Donovan. They'd gotten turned down by Tommy Lloyd, by Dusty May, like other kind of big college targets. And the portal opens tomorrow, so they're like, we're going to have our guy in place for that. I don't know what they're doing with assistants, how much that's going on, because I believe like Sean May and Marcus Page maybe are going over with Wes Miller, wherever he's at, Charlotte now. So will be interesting to see. It's an interesting swing, but kind of got turned down by all the college guys they were going with. Apparently, this guy's quite the X's and O's guy, so hopefully it works out and Carolina can get back. So let's call it there. Closing time, everybody. Just want to say thank you to everybody for all your watches, your listens. Really appreciate all that. So thank you. As always, we'll be back next week. Big time pod coming next week. Major pod, reaction pod. The Masters will be covering the Masters. Hopefully we're talking about a solidified Flyers playoff spot. More baseball, a lot of good stuff next week. Don't forget to check out the merch shop. You can find some merch for the Ole Walls House podcast, as well as for my guy MJ over at the Full Range Pod. Check him out on Spotify and Apple at the Full Range Pod, and on the Ole Walls House YouTube channel. And thank you to producer Kevy for helping us get started on video. Till next week. Peace.